Okay, we are back and welcome to Sports Talk. Alongside Marty Mad Dog Murphy, I'm Matt LaMadeline and welcome, as always. Feel free to call, obviously, at 203-753-7593. But Marty, we are all over the place now. My dad's watching down in Florida, hopefully, he was last week, via YouTube.
Yeah.
So if you'd rather do that, go on YouTube and in the search bar, just go Sky, S-K-Y-E, with a space, then cable, with a space, and then 13. You can find us there. And our old shows as well, from the last 3 weeks. Or you can watch us online at the regular Sky 13, that's SKYE 13.com. Or you can just watch us the old-fashioned way on Channel 13. But it's great, though, isn't it? It's awesome. It's awesome. A couple of people have been watching us, even after the fact, like the replays, if you will. I've been getting some very good feedback about the new look and everything, which love the new look.
I love the new look, too.
Love the new look. Thanks to Al Coles, of course, the guru in the back with our buddy Mike Albini, of course.
So let's see, are we out in L.A. today because of the Rams game?
No, we're in Seattle. I mean, not Seattle. I'm sorry, San Francisco.
Oh, San Francisco.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're on site at the San Francisco. I don't know. It used to be
It's Levi Stadium.
Yeah, I was going to say,
I think it's still Levi Stadium.
Yeah, it used to be Levi Stadium. Tonight's game, obviously, is the Monday Night Football matchup between the LA Rams, which just sounds weird again to me because they were LA when I was a kid. Then they were
St. Louis.
Right, no, but they moved to Anaheim. Remember, they were Anaheim, I think.
Yeah,
Well, anyways,
that was still Los Angeles.
Right. They moved over to Anaheim, and then they were St. Louis, and now they're back. They're kind of like my Raiders.
Yeah, they don't know where to go.
Yeah. But they have a beautiful stadium as always. And
Well,
that's what they do these days.
When you're able to get a city or a state, sucker them in to build you a brand new stadium.
Right.
Most of the time, it'll bring you a team unless you're Hartford.
Oh, it's so true. It's so true, isn't it? Tonight's matchup, the 7-2 Rams versus the 3-5, I think it is. Where is it? Let me put on my eyes for a second, Marty. 3-5 San Francisco 49ers, divisional rivals. New arrival, of course, is OBJ.
That makes the Niners win.
Yeah, well, here's my thing is the Rams just don't even need him. Hopefully he's not going to upset the apple cart there.
Well, like I said, he goes to the playoffs with the Giants.
Yep.
Does nothing.
Right.
Giants don't do anything anymore with him at all.
Right.
Can't even make the playoffs. Can't even sniff the playoffs.
Yeah.
He goes to Cleveland.
Yep.
Brags about how great it is being with Baker Mayfield.
And
They
his
make the
buddy
play.
Landry.
They make the playoff last year. He does nothing in the playoffs.
Right.
Then all he does is whine and cry to get himself thrown off to Cleveland this year.
Right.
I mean, when are people going to understand that the problem isn't the quarterback?
Right.
The problem is he thinks he's more important than anybody else on the team.
Well, Marty, we've seen diva receivers over and over again.
Let's see, and how many diva receivers have we seen win a Super Bowl? Owens never won one.
No, Owens never won one.
I don't think Moss ever won one. He didn't win one with the Vikings. Did he win one with the Raiders?
No, definitely not with the Raiders. He was in one with the Patriots, but they lost.
And they lost. And they lost. Why? It would have been the year that the Patriots went undefeated. Why did they lose? Because Tom Brady hit him run down the sideline with nobody around him, hit him dead in his hands on the Giants' 30-yard line. He catches the ball. He runs in for a touchdown. Patriots go undefeated. They win the Super Bowl. What does he do? He drops the ball.
All right.
So when you're a diva wide receiver,
right.
when crunch time comes and you need that reception to win,
Thanks, Mike.
it doesn't happen.
Yeah. I'm exhausted with. I was telling a friend of mine the other day that he's like, oh yeah, the Raiders are good, and this was before last night's debacle of a game, and I just we were talking about all the problems the Raiders have had with their players and the coach and the owners and I'm just like, I'm just not a fan anymore of the players or the owners. I'll root for the teams and I love the games. I love the game of football, obviously, but I'm just exhausted with the players.
But I'll tell you, the NFL, you really got to start wondering, when is enough going to be enough?
Oh, it's just not.
When is it not going to be the money cow that it is?
No.
Sooner or later, it's going to.
I wish, Marty. I wish. Let's go to my brother on line 1. Mark, you there?
I'm here.
Hey, what's going on?
Good. How you guys doing?
Good, good. You watching us on YouTube, or what are you watching us on?
Yeah, so I have it on YouTube, and I actually called in on my cell phone.
Okay.
But then I wasn't able to see what you guys were talking about at the same time, so I figured I'd call in on my landline.
Okay. I got you. From what we understand from talking to Dad last week is there is a delay. So if you're watching us on YouTube, you need to turn the volume down. That's,
Okay. Oh, you're getting the feedback? I'm sorry.
No. We're not with you right now, but we were with Dad last week. So that's what it's still the learning curve, but it's looking good on YouTube.
Oh, yeah, you guys
Good.
look great on YouTube. Now,
Good.
it's really small on my phone, so I can't really see what the backdrop is today.
Yeah. Oh no, same backdrop. We're just moving from site to site, you know.
Is that the Windy City in the background?
Yeah, San Francisco now instead of
Yeah.
As San Francisco.
Yeah,
All
last
right.
week it was the Windy City.
to
Now
imagine.
it's San Francisco. Yeah. So what's going on? What are you thinking these days, my brother?
Yeah, I don't know. Talking football again.
Yes, we're
I
talking
have to
football.
say, I
Yep,
enjoyed
yep.
watching the Pats yesterday.
I'll tell you
I
what.
think Mac's got potential.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. They
Have
say.
you guys had any watched any football yesterday?
You know, I did not see the Patriot game. I did listen to some of it, and it was already like 24-0 or 24-7, and I was like, "Wow, the Browns just stink, or the Patriots are turning it on." And I think it's the Patriots are finally turning it on.
well.
Yeah, I think the Patriots turning it on too. Mac Jones was just hitting receivers. His offense looked great. Defense looked terrific.
Yeah.
So I think the Pats look like they could be a contender.
Well, they said they've won now 5 of their last 6 and 4 in a row.
Yeah,
Yes,
I mean,
6-4 now.
Yeah.
yeah, but I
So
mean,
they're definitely in, the AFC. Geez, and it doesn't seem like anybody really wants to pull away with that.
No, that's for sure. And you know what, Mark? They have a very winnable game coming up Thursday. They are hosting. They're at Atlanta, so that's a very winnable game. Atlanta lost yesterday 43-3 to the Dallas Cowboys, so that's a very winnable game.
yeah. Well, if you look, the one thing that makes Matt Jones look so good is he's not asked to do a lot.
Right.
I mean, he only threw for 198 yards yesterday.
Right,
But he threw 3 touchdown passes. That's what mattered.
Yeah.
And the defense really helped them out.
Right.
Well,
That's
and
it.
Stevenson had a huge day on the running the ball. He had 2 touchdowns and over 100 yards. I know that because I'm watching the fantasy stuff. And Mark, believe it or not, he was on our wire. I don't even think anybody picked him up yesterday. So, for the game yesterday. So, I'm going to be keeping an eye out for him. But who knows? It could be a one and done type of thing, you know.
Yeah.
But the Browns, the Browns are hurting now, and even with OBJ, they find ways to lose, and now Baker Mayfield is hurt. I don't know if he's out for any extended period of time, but I know he did leave the game in the third quarter yesterday.
He did, yeah.
Yeah.
And that whole AFC North is just a mess, right? And so same thing with the West. Now we have Kansas City, who I've been saying all along, don't sleep on the Chiefs.
No, you can't. You can't.
But the West, everybody's 5-5 or 5-4, right?
Let's see. With the win yesterday, Kansas City, I want to say is 6-4 now. And of course, nobody could beat up on the Chiefs when they were down. I'd have to say that this team, watching them last night. Now the Raiders were just awful. I can say that as a Raider fan. Penalty after penalty after penalty.
But that's always been the Raiders'
Right.
MO anyways.
Right. And
They've always been able to overcome the penalty stuff.
Unbelievable. They had a 4th and a half a yard. I think Al Michaels called it 10 links on a chain. And of course, one of the linemen false starts, 4th and 6 now. And of course, then they go and punt. I'm not going to say that they would have made 10 links, but there just was zero momentum. They lose 41-14. Even Derek Carr was under so much pressure last night. He was just throwing balls up, and I was like, you can't do that too. Take the sack. One of them ended up being a pick. So I don't know. The Raiders are in bad shape, but the Chiefs are certainly on their way back. The only team in the AFC that's really running away with it right now is the Tennessee Titans at 8-2.
Yeah.
Everybody else is 6-3, 6-4, 5-5. The National Football Conference obviously is different, but Mark, I'll tell you what. If I was a Patriot fan, I'd be happy. I mean, things are looking good for the Patriots.
Now, the Patriots haven't played the Bills yet at all, have they?
I don't think so. No, I'd have to say that they have not yet.
So they got 2 games against the Bills. That's gonna decide their season.
Yes.
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, those are games that you want to still have on your schedule. They're starting to play well. They're starting to gel together. And you know what? I like that Bills team. I think they're a solid football team. There's no question about it. But the way the Pats looked this past week, I'll tell you, I think they could play with any team in the NFL.
That Bills defense scares me.
Yeah, well, and they whipped up on the Jets yesterday. There was a lot of whippings yesterday, but I think that, after 8 weeks, 9 weeks, 10 weeks, the cream is starting to rise to the top again. And unfortunately, poor Matt, what was his name, White?
Oh, Mike White.
Mike White was, 4 picks yesterday, 24 of 44. I mean, the poor guy, he had his one good game this year so far. And you know what, hopefully a few more for the Jets, but they get whipped by the Bills, 45-17.
You hope they let them start against Miami.
Yeah.
Because I don't think if Wilson was in there, he would have did any better.
Right.
Not against that defense. That is a state-of-the-art defense they got there.
Here's my thing, Mark. Just like you were saying, especially with the AFC East, the Dolphins have no business beating the Ravens the other night, but they did. So it's so true that in the NFL, any team could beat any team in any given week. I always believe that. Yep.
Except for the Jets.
Well, and you never know. The Jets, the Jets find ways to win games. They just do, So Mark, before we let you go, Marty and I were discussing the tie yesterday, Pittsburgh and the winless Detroit Lions, 16-16, and so now the Lions are 0-8-1. And my thing is Marty and I were talking about it. The thing I don't understand about the overtime is that they cut it from 15 minutes to 10 minutes. Both teams need to possess the ball. I love that, but now you're sending fans home with a tie and teams home with a tie when it was never really an issue 3 or 4 years ago. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I didn't realize that they had changed that rule. When did they change that?
Well, they changed it a couple of years ago when they changed the whole possession with both teams possessing the ball.
Yeah.
They changed it from 15 minutes to 10 minutes.
Yeah, and the other thing that they changed was both teams possess the ball unless the team that gets the ball first, if they score a touchdown, then the game's over.
That much I remember, but I always liked the chance of both teams having the opportunity to possess the ball. I like that rule. I didn't realize they cut it from 15 to 10.
Yes, and that is why we've had a tie now in the last 3 seasons, I believe it is. Now, my thing is, Marty brought up a great point. Maybe it's time for the NFL to go college style. And what is it?
They start them on 25-yard line.
25-yard line and no first downs, right? It's four chances.
I think it's
score.
4 chances to score. Yeah, if I remember.
Yeah,
Yeah.
High school is the same thing from the 10.
Okay. All right. See, you know what, Mark? To me, let's do that. Then there's no 10-minute period, but it could go back and forth, back and forth.
And the way that goes, you score a touchdown, you kick the extra point. If the other team scores a touchdown, if they kick the extra point and you still end up tied,
right?
I think you're able to do that twice.
Okay.
And then the rule goes, score a touchdown, you have to go for 2. There's no more kicking the extra point.
Okay. I am completely unclear on the whole college football thing, but I think the NFL needs to look at that. No more ties.
But I know it's either 1 or 2 times.
Yeah,
you can get away.
They call it the California tiebreaker.
Yes, that's what it's called, something like that. Right. Now, Mark, one other thing. Did you see Cam Newton is back in the NFL, and instead of being humble, happy to be here guy, he's already, he scores a touchdown. I'm back. Superman's back. Well, Superman has not played in the league in 9 weeks, and all of a sudden he's back, and he's being, the Cam Newton of
I'm glad
old.
he's doing it for Carolina.
Yes. Well, that was my thing.
Well, that's it. He's home. That's where Cam Superman came from. So
right.
It did make sense for him to do it.
Patriots, I didn't think he was a good fit with that franchise.
No.
Very surprised the Patriots would bring a guy like that on.
He wasn't.
Right. I agree with you.
He wasn't the right quarterback, but with the circumstances, the way COVID was running, they wanted a veteran, and they felt he was the best veteran they can get. So that's why they did it. That's why they didn't bring him back this year.
I just didn't love the choice. I didn't think he was really part of the Patriot way.
Yeah.
I mean, that was proven last year. It just didn't work out for him. It didn't work out for the Patriots. They left.
And
I think everything, they left everything amicably, and now he's back in Carolina. That's where he belongs.
Right. And my thing too, Mark, is you know what? I'm not discounting that he's a great athlete by any means. I'm just saying, you know what? You sat around and watched Sunday football from your couch for 8 or 9 weeks, and the next thing you know, you're coming back. And how about just being a nice humble? All right, give the ball to not this. Back. I'm back.
Now let's look at it.
Right. Right.
He was cut by the Patriots because he came down with COVID-19. That was the reason why he was cut.
Okay.
All right. Why is it took Aaron Rodgers getting nailed for COVID and finding out he wasn't vaccinated? So now, because everybody got to kiss his behind because he's Aaron Rodgers, he's special. That and he was back playing this past Sunday when with the violations that he should have had for putting all those people in danger for not being vaccinated and doing his press conferences with no mask and everything. He gets a little slap on the hand.
Difference, though, Marty. In all honesty, I don't think the Patriots wanted him to mentor Mac Jones.
I would agree with that.
I
would agree with that.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think that was the kind of model they wanted for him. And that's really, it's just he's not a good fit for the Patriots.
He wasn't. I agree with you.
I agree with that 100.
I think it was more than the COVID thing.
Right.
I agree with that 100% when it comes to the Patriots.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying, not one of the other 31 teams talked to him till after Aaron Rodgers got nailed for not being vaccinated getting COVID-19.
Yeah. Well,
And
Marty,
I think that's the NFL's
listen,
problem.
And I am not in any way saying that it's correct. And I agree with you. But you know what? We know, Marty, that the NFL has their faces, and you know what? It's not right, but they're going to do what they want to do. And somebody like Aaron Rodgers is a winner, and he's a face. You know, he's out there.
Well, let's see. He's won.
Mark, thank you so much for the call. We appreciate it. We're going to move on because we got to talk about some Husky hoops.
All right, guys.
All right.
Have a great night.
Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon. Go ahead, Marty. You can finish yours.
He's won one Super Bowl.
Right.
He's lost 5 NFC Championship games.
Right.
What has he won? One Super Bowl.
Marty, you know what? He's a Hall of Famer. And I don't care what you say. He's a Hall of Famer. And that's all the NFL cares about. Cam Newton, I don't think he's a Hall of Famer, unfortunately. I mean, talented, absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. All right, Marty, it's time to talk some UConn hoops because it's back.
Yes.
Now, obviously the UConn men are ranked 24th. This is the first time in a few years that we've actually had something to talk about with the UConn men because they haven't been playing well at all. But quickly, they won last week over Central, which they have their powder puff games or whatever, if you will. It's probably more for Central than it is for UConn.
Trying to start in state rivalry. Yeah.
Right. And then they beat Coppin State yesterday, 89-54. So another nice win.
Yeah, and Coppin State was in the NCAA tournament last year.
Yes, I do remember that. Yes, and now so next they're hosting LIU, which is Long Island University.
Yes.
I'm assuming Wednesday at Gamble Pavilion. So hopefully they'll get off to a 3-0 start. The women, I know this is usually your ball of wax. One game only so far.
Well, they had the one against Hayes University, but that was exhibition.
Oh, okay.
And they blew them out.
Okay. Well, they also they won yesterday over Arkansas, 95-80, and Paige Becker 34 points.
Yeah.
What do you know about her?
She was a Big East freshman of the year last year.
Okay.
Great ball player.
Okay. Good. And so we'll be hearing her name all
Yes.
year. Now, who else? Is there anybody else that we should be hearing?
You got
her name?
Adoda.
Okay.
You got Williams. You got Walker. And Walker and Adoda are both seniors, so
Okay.
they're on their way. They got a really good team.
Okay.
Gino, if he wants to, he could run all 12 players out.
Okay. And they're only number 2, so
Yeah.
South Carolina?
Yeah, South Carolina's
Of
number
course. Always South Carolina, UConn, who else?
Well,
Stanford.
Notre Dame,
Yeah.
Kentucky,
Kentucky.
Louisville.
Okay. Well, it is. It's good to see that there's a lot more competition in the women's game now.
UCLA.
Yes. And it's good to see that there's some good programs
Ma-
out there now.
matter
I
of
mean, it was just UConn and Tennessee for all those years.
And a matter of fact, if I remember right, I think it's the Bahama tournament
Okay.
where the women are playing against UCLA. I think Louisville, but if it's not Louisville there, then I know they're playing. I know they got Louisville on their schedule in one of the tournaments that they're doing. If it's not the one in the Bahamas, it's the one up at Uncasville.
Okay. Well, their next game is at Minnesota next Saturday, so they actually have a whole week off.
Yeah.
And we're going to hear good things from the UConn women's team. We know that. Hopefully, the UConn men's team will continue to win and be competitive all year back in the Big East.
Well, I'll tell you, it took them a couple of years,
Right.
but Hurley started to get his players in,
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
they're starting to win.
Yeah, it's his program now.
Yeah.
No doubt about
It took
that.
a couple of years to get his students in,
Right.
his team in, because it's no matter what college you go to, when you come in as a coach, you get there, you have at least 2 years, you have to go through the players that have already had scholarships that are getting towards the end of their college career
Right.
before you start getting your players in.
Yep. Marty, UConn football, they lost again, obviously. We don't expect much of them. They played Clemson 44-7 this week. They're now 1-9. Their only win was the Yale win. Their last game is this week at UCF.
At UCF, I thought they were saying it was at home.
No, I think
27.
they're all done. I could be wrong with that. I thought it was at UCF, but I could be wrong.
I could have swore I heard him on the radio this afternoon saying, "Come to Runster Field for the for tailgating for UConn's last game of the season."
Well, they're not going to have a whole lot of tailgaters over there because the Yale-Harvard game's going on. All the tailgating will be in New Haven at the Yale Bowl this weekend. But I swear it was UCF, but I could be wrong. Anyways, they're going to lose to UCF in their last game of the season. We know that's going to happen. Anyway, this week, though, they hired Jim Mora. Did you see that?
I saw that.
Former Saint and Colts and who else did he coach for? Anyways, NFL coach.
Yeah.
And you may remember him as playoffs. remember him? Playoffs? We're not going to make the playoffs, or whatever he said. And I was like, they're going to hire, this guy's got to be 70s, 80s, got to be. He's been around forever. He was an old man when he said playoffs, and we're old men, so we can say that. He's got a few years on us. But anyways, hopefully Jim Mora can turn this thing around. We're making fun and everything else, but 3-4 wins next year would be a huge turnaround for this.
But I mean,
it's awful.
But it's still, he's going to have the same problem everybody else has, unless players transfer out, and he's able to recruit a decent class and get a decent class in there. He's still going to have one bad year no matter what.
Right.
If he can recruit enough new players to come in, and get enough to transfer out, they're all going to be coming in as freshmen. Most of your freshmen don't start.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, not.
Most of them are
Division I. Right.
Most of them are redshirted usually.
Yeah, right. Well, we'll see. Hopefully, we're going to start seeing some good things with the UConn football program because it's atrocious.
I mean,
now.
you hope that they can build something that finally some big conference will take them in.
Right.
Because what did they do? They jumped from the AAC,
Right.
and then the Big Ten comes down, swoops Cincinnati.
Yeah,
and
yeah. It takes the good
Cincinnati,
teams out of the AAC,
Houston.
Right. Marty, one question for you. What were you doing on November 13th, 1875? Do you remember that day?
No.
I had to look it up because I needed to know when the big game was first played. And that was when Yale and Harvard first played, again, November 13th, 1875. quick math, Marty. I can't really do it anymore. 100 and close to 50, right?
Yeah.
150 games would be in 2025. So 100 and whatever, say 47 games or whatever. They didn't lose last year, obviously, to COVID. But Yale and Harvard are playing again this year at the Yale Bowl on Saturday in New Haven.
Don't forget your turkey.
Oh, my goodness. It used to be fill the bowl. The last time we went, they weren't giving away free tickets for free turkeys. So, I don't know, but hopefully bring your canned goods anyways. They always do try to fill the bowl, and all the proceeds go to the people who need a meal.
All right, you're right, because there's 2 games left.
What was that?
With UConn, because I said they're talking about the game on the 27th. That's next week.
Oh, so they do have.
Yeah,
so they have 2 games left. I'm sorry. I thought this week was their last game. Okay.
They have 2 games left because
Okay.
they were talking about the 27th.
Oh, okay. So the 27th will be the last home.
Last home game, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So Marty, right now Harvard is 7-2, 5-2 in the Ivy League, and Yale is 5-4, 4-2 in the Ivy League. So I didn't look up the Ivy League standings, but I don't know if this game has any what do you call it, playoff standings.
They don't have playoffs.
Right, they don't have playoffs.
And
but
they don't go to a ball.
No, they don't. But what they do is they co-capped, or they co-champ, or whatever. So
Well, if they're 7-2,
yeah.
and Yale is 4-2.
No, Yale's. Oh, you're right. Yale's 5-4. You're right. So so that can't happen.
No. But you said
In the Ivy League.
the Ivy League.
Yes.
What is
If Yale wins, they'd be 5-2, and Harvard would be 5-3.
so and then Yale must have one more Ivy League game after this one.
No, it's weird. The schedule was looking weird. The Harvard game is always the last game. It's always the last game. So so something's not right there.
Yeah, something's not right there.
Yeah, something's not right there. Anyways, the last meeting, I swear I was at it because I kind of remembered it once I saw the score, was November 23rd, 2019. And again, the only reason they didn't play last year was because of COVID, and the Ivy League schools did not play football. Yale won 50-43 with double overtime. And I remember it because it was the California style, like we were just talking about with my brother. And Harvard had a big lead, and Yale came all the way back, tied it, and then they won it in the double overtime. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, 2020 they didn't play. That's right. Okay.
Yeah. So if you get a chance out there, anybody, go to the Yale Bowl Saturday. The tailgate is incredible. The game's usually very good as well, but the tailgating is top notch. And they do bust the students down from Harvard, so so there'll be plenty of Harvard fans there as well, plenty of Yale fans there, and plenty of just neutral people hanging out, drinking and eating and hooting and hollering. So it's a good time. So definitely head over to the Yale Bowl on Saturday at noon, a noon kickoff. But get there early.
Yeah.
Get there early. So so Marty, just quickly, the Giants were off this week.
Yeah, they couldn't lose.
They couldn't lose. They're going to Tampa next Monday night to play the Bucks, and we'll see if they can beat Tom Brady like they have twice in the Super Bowl.
Well, it's going to be interesting because Brady was not happy last night. So
Yes, he was not happy.
you got to wonder if he got a fight, if he can light a fire on that team.
Well, I'll tell you what, and that was a very winnable game for the Bucks. They are now 6-3, and they should have beat the Washington football
They
team.
should have beat him.
We're going to still call them the Skins. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, they have skins to me. They always will.
Yeah, they should have beat the
Just
Skins yesterday.
just like Cleveland's always going to be the
Oh, that's for another day. All right, hey, Mark, as always, thank you so much for calling. Thank you, Big Al Coles, Mike Albini in the back. Belated happy birthday to Mike as well.
Yeah, happy birthday, Mike.
From last week. And, thank you so much for the call. Keep watching us on YouTube, Channel 13 or skycable.com, and we'll talk to you real soon. Have a good night and enjoy your sports.